August 6, 1897, a ship wreckage is found in the shores of England. Police officers in the late night inform their commander about the ship. Immediately they go to see what has happened. One of the officers sits frightened, gives the commander a notebook he has found. The commander is shocked by what he's reading. He goes to have a closer look and sees the sails covered in blood. For weeks earlier, a caravan is traveling, carrying wooden crates with a black dragon emblem. They arrive at the port, where they make a stop. People are playing cards, and Clemens is looking for a way back home, but they invite him to join the game. A ship named Demeter arrives at the port. The captain with his young nephew disembarks. The Demeter needs 3 new crew members. Word spreads that Demeter is looking for hands. Wojciech lines up the volunteers, and one of them steps up, saying he is fit for the job. Captain notices Clemens from his clothes. He is a learned man. Clemens tells them he is a doctor, but Wojciech refuses to hire him, saying he has no experience. The people who brought the caravan tell Olgarin they will leave before the sun sets. Then they give Wojciech his money and tell him good luck. Wojciech surprised why they gave him more money than they agreed to. The ship is being loaded, including the crates with the black dragon, while Clemens is looking for a way in. The new crew member sees the black dragon and accidentally drops the rope, almost killing the captain's nephew, if it weren't for Clemens who saved him. The captain, shocked at what happened, orders the man to stop. The new crew member, terrified, tells them no one said anything about the dragon emblem, and then he leaves. The captain thanks Clemens and Wojciech invites him to be part of the crew. The ship is prepared to set sail, and the captain gives the signal. People who brought the cargo make one last stop looking at the ship and the monster they delivered to them. Toby, the captain's nephew, approaches Clemens and offers to show him around the ship, and his dog Huckleberry. He also tells him they communicate by knocking on the beams. The captain writes on his notebook, while the crew is singing and dancing. Later, as they sleep, one of the crates in the cargo hold opens, and a shadow appears. The next morning, as they are having breakfast, they discuss how they will spend the money in England. The dog hears something and barks. They tell Toby to go and look what it is. Toby hesitates to go in, but Clemens calms him and they go in together. Suddenly a big wave hits the ship, and they hear a crashing noise. Clemens goes in to check what happened. He sees a crate has opened and dirt has fallen on the floor. As he inspects the dirt, he gets scared from the woman that was in there. He grabs her and takes her in one of the rooms, preparing to treat her. Wojciech doesn't want a woman on board, as he deems it to be bad luck, but the captain allows it, and Clemens starts a blood transfusion on her. At the same time, a hand appears moving, and he raises up. Later, Clemens goes out and meets with Olgarin. He tells him to knock on the ship if something happens. Olgarin raises his spyglass to look, and a scary face appears in front of him. As he walks scared, Clemens also sees someone which he thinks is Olgarin, but it disappears immediately. He walks slowly and knocks on the ship, when suddenly Olgarin grabs him from behind, and tells him something is happening. Joseph, the chef of the ship, as is walking downstairs, sees their dog ripped to pieces. He then also checks the other animals, and they are all slaughtered. The captain and the crew cannot explain how all the animals are dead from similar wounds. They think perhaps it was their dog who got infected with rabies and killed the other animals. They decide to throw all the animals in the sea. Clemens continues with the treatment of the strange woman. Toby tells him he has heard her whispering something in her sleep. Later, Clemens encounters Joseph. He tells him something is not right, because all the rats are gone, and that is impossible to happen in a ship. Petrovsky is on his duty. When he hears a crushing noise, he goes and sees that the hold is broken, then hears a moaning sound and a creature crawling under the stairs. As he approaches, the monster quickly jumps, slashing his throat, and bites him, drinking his blood. In the morning, the crew sees Petrovsky is missing, and there is blood on the floor. They think he got drunk and injured himself, falling off the ship. At that time, the woman had woken up and overheard what happened. She then ran, warning them, saying he is here, and they all should leave the ship. Clemens grabbed her and tried to calm her. Later, as he was treating her, she told him her name is Anna. Clemens asked what she was worried about before, and she told him her people had given her to a monster to feed on her blood, and that monster is here on this ship. Olgarin and Larson were on the night shift. Larson went to light the lamps, unaware of what was following him. As he turned to go back, the monster jumped on him and killed him. Olgarin, traumatized by what he saw, tried to escape by climbing on the ropes. The ship began to wobble, and all the crew got up, trying to stabilize the ship in this big storm. Abrams called for Olgarin and Larson. Toby, frightened, was walking slowly when drops of blood fell on him. When they looked up, it was Olgarin, injured and tied to the ropes. They brought him down, and he started to scream as they tried to hold him. Gathered around him, they tried to explain the wound on his neck. Wojciech said perhaps it was a rope around his throat that did it, as he didn't believe Anna's story about the monster. The captain, unsure of what was happening, ordered the men to search the ship. Later, in his cabin, he gave Toby his spyglass to clean it for him, so he wouldn't wander around unnecessarily, and told him to lock the door. Olgarin started shaking and screaming. Toby heard some noises and decided to investigate. He was happy to see Olgarin healed, but then Olgarin suddenly grabbed him. Toby managed to escape quickly and retreated back to the captain's cabin. The crew was outside when they heard Toby knocking, and they rushed towards him. Clemens spotted Olgarin and slowly approached him. Olgarin attacked Clemens, but Wojciech intervened and saved Clemens. The captain attempted to open the door, and then they saw what was hidden inside. The monster suddenly grabbed Toby and bit him on the neck. Anna arrived with a gun and blew the door open. The captain rushed in and found Toby lying on the floor. The next morning, Toby was being treated, and Algarin was tied on deck. They asked what had happened to him, and when the sunlight touched him, he burst into flames. Wojciech shot him as an act of mercy. Later, Clemens decided to look for the monster. He encountered Anna, who wouldn't let him go alone. They armed themselves and went into the cargo hold. Joseph decided to abandon the ship to save himself, but unfortunately for him, the monster was already out looking for its prey. Clemens and Anna started opening the crates when they saw the one with the dragon emblem. They opened it and saw a strange cane inside, covered in dirt full of worms. Wojciech went to the captain, and he saw Toby was dead. Later, Clemens told the captain they had prepared Toby's funeral. As they were about to throw Toby into the sea, the captain stopped them, saying he saw Toby move. He went to open the cover when Toby grabbed his wrists and caught fire. Clemens threw Toby into the sea, while the captain cried and screamed after him. Clemens called Wojciech and told him they needed to prepare and take action, or the monster would kill them all. They armed themselves and readied the ship to set a trap for the monster. Night fell, and smoke began to cover the ship. Anna stood on deck to lure the monster out, while Clemens, Wojciech, and Abrams waited with guns in hand. The monster appeared, flying over the ship, and grabbed the rope, pulling Abrams up and killing him instantly. Wojciech raised his gun but was attacked from behind and fell. Crawling and struggling, he barely managed to escape behind a door. He then grabbed an axe with the intention of sinking the ship, but the monster was already upon him, killing him immediately. The captain went out to try to control the ship, and suddenly he felt someone behind him. He raised his cross, but that didn't help him. Clemens was walking with an axe in his hand, when he saw the captain tied to the wheel. He tried to save him, but it was too late. Then, he got up and yelled at the monster, saying he was not scared of it. The monster appeared behind him, screaming, and attacked him in an attempt to kill him. At that moment, Anna shot the monster. As she tried to reload, the monster went after Anna, attempting to kill her. Clemens then struck the monster with the axe, and together with Anna, they tried to escape. The monster grabbed Clemens again. Anna cut the rope, causing a wooden beam to fall toward the monster, while they jumped into the sea. The ship crashed on the rocky shores of England, and the monster escaped. Clemens and Anna clung to a piece of driftwood. Anna's infection had spread. Clemens tried to save her, but she decided to make her own choice, to end her suffering. Some time passed. Clemens approached a bartender, asking about a location. While sitting and sketching a portrait of Anna, he heard a knocking sound, same as they knocked on the ship. A man approached from behind and touched his scar. Clemens jumped from his seat and hurried outside. He spotted a shadow and made a vow to hunt the monster until the very end. Make sure to subscribe and follow our channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching.